Hi lovelies, so I thought I would record the first trimester as it goes along, because by now you guys would know that we are pregnant with our third baby, and it's crazy to think that as I'm saying this and as I'm filming it, you guys don't know yet. I'm only 6 weeks and I think 4 days today, so it's still all very new, but I thought I would do like a little bit of a journal of the first trimester, just, you know, the highlights and what happens over the next few weeks, just for my own memories. And as I said, I'm 6 weeks and 4 days, and we found out really early. So basically we found out at 3 weeks and 3 days pregnant, or 10 days post ovulation, so that's probably one of the earliest times you can actually find out. But yeah, at 3 weeks we found out, and around that time I did have some symptoms. Some of them were like bloating, a little bit of nausea if I hadn't eaten for a while, which actually wasn't really nausea at all when I compare it to what I have now, and even to previous pregnancies. It was nothing. It was just me kind of noticing, oh, I'm hungry, when usually if I hadn't eaten I wouldn't get hungry. Like, I wouldn't notice it and go, oh, I'm hungry. I'd just be like, oh yeah, I probably haven't eaten. So it was more that than actual nausea. Otherwise just cramps, but I mean that could have been, you know, mistaken for cramps before my period. So yeah, that was quite normal, I guess. And yeah, needing to wee more often was another one. But yeah, not too many symptoms, and definitely ones that you could have kind of thought of, oh, you know, my period's coming. So yeah, that was 3 weeks. At 4 weeks I caught a really bad cold and I was so sick. So obviously my body was just, you know, focusing on implanting this baby and putting all my energy into that, because it just did not fight this cold at all. I woke up on my birthday with a cold, and for the full week I was so sick, and that completely wiped out all of my other symptoms. Didn't have any pregnancy symptoms because I just felt so crappy from this cold. So that was week 4, and then as I got to week 5 I got over the cold and I felt so much better. In week 5 I didn't really have any symptoms, like the no symptoms continued. I just felt more back to normal. In week 4 I went to my GP and we did all the blood tests. She gave me my referrals for my ultrasounds, and yeah, I did the blood test to see what my HCG was, which is the pregnancy hormone that the pregnancy test detects, and it came back as 451. So halfway through 4 weeks, that's pretty good, like normal to high result. So I was really happy with that, as that was like my only other sign that I was pregnant, because I was feeling completely normal again as I went through week 5, and then now up to week 6. It was literally bang on week 6 that I started feeling symptoms again. The nausea has definitely started, or the morning sickness, but at the moment it's nothing compared to what I had with Kasha, and definitely not as bad as what I remember with Jacob. So yeah, I feel pretty lucky, and I'm hoping that will continue. I wake up feeling kind of icky, and then it lasts probably until early afternoon, but it's just kind of in the background. It's not like taking over my life, which is awesome. I can still eat. I just don't really feel as hungry or wanting to eat, but I can definitely still eat, which is good. I'm not throwing up, which is awesome. And yeah, the only other symptom is just mentally getting my head around, you know, like there's a lot of hormones going on, and I'm just feeling a bit like, okay, pregnancy, like, you know, the morning sickness starting, the feeling just different, like I'm about to start growing. And yeah, because I haven't seen the baby yet, haven't had my dating scan, I just feel a bit like, all right, come on, like I just want to see it, make sure it's okay, and then I can start getting really excited. I'm just kind of in limbo at the moment where I'm excited, but yeah, I don't know if everything's okay yet. So yeah, obviously having some symptoms is a positive sign. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I've got to report for week 6. My dating scan is in a week, so that's probably the next time I will update. And yeah, I'll show you my belly, which is really just a starting point before I go, and I'll see you after my dating scan. Yay! On my way to my dating scan. I'm so nervous. I didn't think I'd be this nervous, but I will chat with you guys after. It's now a fair while later. I've literally spent the afternoon in bed. Week 7 has definitely brought on the nausea, but my scan went really well. The ultrasound tech found baby straight away. Baby had a heartbeat, which was amazing. It was 153 beats per minute. Baby was perfectly healthy, and according to my dates, I would have been 8 weeks and 5 days, but she agreed with me that according to what I thought, I'm 7 weeks, and she totally agreed with that. So I was really happy, and it kind of was like a win for me that I'm definitely know what's going on with my body this time around. So that was really reassuring. Otherwise, it was so quick. She just did the measurements. We agreed on the date. Like, she changed my due date by about 2 days or 3 days. I thought was thinking 14th of November. She said 17th of November, but I mean, that's not really a big deal. And I didn't need to have an internal ultrasound, which I was so happy about. She could get all the dates just from doing the ultrasound on my tummy. And what else? There was one thing. Oh, and I wanted to know which side the egg had been released from, because I thought it was my right side, because that was where the pain was coming from, and she confirms that it was the right side. And I have had more cramping this time around, and I didn't really mention many of my symptoms before because I didn't have that many, but as I said, nausea kind of all day. The metallic taste is really bothering me. Haven't thrown up. I don't feel that sick that I'm going to throw up, but the metallic taste is making me nauseous. My stomach feels a little upset, but I'm still eating everything and a lot. I feel like I'm eating a lot. I've got a lot of back pain, which I was a little bit nervous about, but I think that's just like all the relaxin and the hormones going through, and my back's just weak anyway, so I have to be really careful. That's everything that I really wanted to update from my dating scan. Everything's looking good, we're right on track, and yeah, hopefully, yeah, everything continues going really well. I'm excited. I'm feeling a bit blur because of the nausea and the metallic taste, hence why I'm chilling in bed. Luckily I don't have the kids today, so that has been a blessing, but yeah, all good news today, so yay. My next, I guess, check-in will probably be for my 10-week bloods. I'll go get them done, and then I've booked in my 12-week ultrasound for the 5th of May. Hi lovelies, so I am now 11 weeks exactly today by my scan, or 11 weeks and 3 days by my calculations. So I thought I'd do another little update because today I had my blood test, so my first trimester screening bloods. I've got my little thing that I haven't bothered taking off yet, and I went in and she asked me my weight, which I don't know if I've mentioned on here. I can't remember. I have to watch the other update that I did at 6 weeks. But when I went to the doctor, I started out at 55 kilos because I'd been really sick with a cold, but then I quickly went back up to my normal kind of 58 kilos, so I'm going to say that's my starting weight. And today when she asked me, I had no idea because I haven't weighed myself at all since then, so I just guesstimated that I would be about 60 kilos, so maybe I'll weigh myself tomorrow morning and see, but I'd think roughly maybe I've gained 2 kilos. Let's hope. Yeah, so that was that, and also my belly measurement. I don't know if I mentioned that, but my starting one was 85 at 6 weeks, and I just measured myself now and I'm 87 centimeters, so that's 2 centimeters bigger. So I guess that's not too much. But then for perspective, I measured myself with Kasha, and at 15 weeks I was 89 centimeters. So between now 11 weeks and 15 weeks, I doubt I'll only grow 2 centimeters, because I feel like I'm growing really, really fast. But I mean, it's my 3rd pregnancy, so I guess that's to be expected. So since 6 weeks, I'll do symptoms first actually. Another symptom that I forgot to mention was one of my earliest symptoms, and I do feel like I've been pregnant forever and this first trimester has been going on forever, because we've literally known for 8 weeks, which is crazy. But I think one symptom that I didn't mention is that I was feeling really cold, and I do feel cold normally anyway, but it was summer here and it's autumn and we're having like this freak late spring. Like, it's gorgeous weather, it's warm, it's like in the mid-20s, and I felt so cold. Like, I'll wear jumpers and jeans, like I'm wearing jeans today, and it's a beautiful sunny day. So that was definitely a unusual symptom. I don't remember that with Jacob and Kasha, and I had that really early on. The usual nausea, definitely not as much as bad as I remember with either of the kids. Definitely nowhere near as bad as with Kasha. And with Jacob, I don't know if I'd say that was worse, or it was worse because it was the first time I was experiencing it. But I was so anxious about getting nausea and feeling sick about this pregnancy, and it definitely hasn't been as bad, or even like half as bad as what I imagined, so that's been good. The one thing that has been really bad is the metallic taste in my mouth. I know a lot of people suffer from that, so I'm not alone. But yeah, it's just been this constant like gross feeling in my mouth. The tiredness, oh my goodness, that has been insane. I know they say it can get worse each pregnancy, and I know I'm running after, you know, a 4.5-year-old and a almost 3-year-old, but it's, yeah, full on. It's really bad. I don't remember it being as bad with my other 2 pregnancies. I just remember the sickness. I don't necessarily remember the tiredness as much. I just remember always feeling sick. So heartburn, which actually wasn't heartburn. It's actually like the pressure of your uterus growing, so it's pushing everything kind of up, because your uterus, you know, doubles in size the first few weeks and then grows even bigger. And yeah, and then that made more sense than actual heartburn, because it didn't feel 100% like heartburn, but I was like, what is that feeling? And yeah, I think it was just my uterus expanding and pushing everything up. It was a weird weird feeling. So I've definitely had that. And then I think that's all in terms of like those kind of, oh, and breakouts. I've had these breakouts along my jaw, which have been so frustrating, and they've literally taken 4 or 5 weeks, and they're finally starting to clear up, but not gone at all. Like, they're still there, and obviously I'm wearing makeup today, so you can't see them as much, but if you ran your finger along there, you can feel like bump, 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 and yeah, not fun. But in saying that, I have not been bothered wearing makeup for about the 4 weeks. Like, I've worn it maybe twice if we've had something to do, or if I've had to film, or that's about it. I just have been embracing the fact that I just do not care. I've been craving ham and cheese toasties, ham and cheese croissants, ham and cheese anything. I haven't wanted anything sweet. I remember at the start of my pregnancy, I bought some like snacks and chocolate, like to have just in case for, you know, cravings. Haven't touched it. So that's been interesting. I think that's all of the, yeah, kind of symptom stuff and craving stuff. And one, I guess, symptom that I wanted to mention that I guess I wasn't really prepared for, because the whole time I was like, oh, pregnancy, you know, I'm really nervous about being sick, feeling sick, the nausea, vomiting, all of that. You know, my first doctor's appointment, I made sure I got a script for anti-nausea medication, and I haven't needed to use any of that. But the one thing I really wasn't prepared for was mentally, I just feel crazy. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. And it's funny because I was talking to a girlfriend about how I was feeling. And obviously I know there's like a lot of hormones going on and changes, and you know, you're growing a life. But when I was chatting to my girlfriend, I realized that with my first 2 pregnancies, it all kind of blended into one. So, you know, I was pregnant with Jacob, and then I had Jacob, and then I was breastfeeding Jacob, and then I was still breastfeeding when I got pregnant with Kasha, then I was pregnant with Kasha, then I had Kasha, then I was breastfeeding her. And then when I finally finished breastfeeding Kasha, it was like a huge relief. Like all the hormones just, you know, finally settled down. Like I remember when she was 18 months and I felt like I was normal again, like I could cope with things. My anxiety was a lot better. I didn't feel like everything was an effort, and I didn't feel overwhelmed every single day, and like life got so much easier. And then that was another 18 months ago, so I've had this good like year and a half of just feeling, you know, like I can cope with things. I'm not constantly worried and anxious and stressed, and even I'd say like depressed at times because of how overwhelmed I was feeling. And I guess I never really thought about that until now, being back to that point. I've definitely like mentally kind of struggled with that, because it feels like I'm back there, even though like so much has happened, and you know, it felt so much better. I just felt like I was instantly back there, and I wasn't prepared for that. Like I was so focused on, oh my gosh, I'm gonna feel so sick, that I wasn't prepared for, oh my gosh, I'm gonna feel so overwhelmed. And so we went from this excitement of, you know, really wanting a 3rd baby, really wanting to have another child, being so sure that this is what we wanted. We'd waited longer between the other 2 kids because we knew that, you know, it was a big age gap. Kids were going to be in school. Like we made sure there was like so many things that would make it easier for me to cope this time around with a baby plus 2 other kids. And you know, I'd had a break, I'd been back at work, we'd just done all these things that we did differently when we had our first 2 close together. And still you know, we got pregnant, and then within like, I guess we hit week 7, and I just went downhill. Just straight back to feeling overwhelmed, anxious, regretting the decision, wondering whether we made the wrong decision, whether, you know, life was so easy, why didn't we just keep it that way? You know, it could have been just like so easy, even though I know it's not at like all the time. But you know, I'd finally got a handle on things, I could manage, and then it was just back to like, how am I going to cope, how am I going to do this? So I definitely wasn't prepared for that, and it's only now week like 11 that I'm starting to feel like I can cope again and get excited and actually enjoy my pregnancy, hopefully like more when we have our next scan. And yeah, but I definitely wanted to mention that because it was something that I wasn't prepared for. I just thought because we'd put all these things in place that I would just kind of skip that part and maybe just feel like, yes, we did it for all the right reasons, so we're really excited. Whereas yeah, I am excited, but I feel like I have to kind of remind myself that I am excited that we did do those things, and not just be like, oh yeah, you know, we made the right decision, and that's it. Whereas that's how Ben feels. Like he doesn't question the fact that we're having a 3rd child or whether we made a mistake or not. He's just like, yep, this is awesome, like we're gonna have another baby. Whereas I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I think it was just more like that loss of control, like feeling that I can't control my emotions and my feelings, and all those hormones are going around, and also like feeling more tired and a bit sick and just different, and then, you know, not wanting to do things as much with the kids, and just feeling like I was always saying no, and like mummy's tired, and this and that also I guess contributed to that. And yeah, then I even wondered, like, did we leave it too long? Did we wait that extra? I mean, Kasha will be 3.5 when this baby's born, so it's not like it's a huge age gap, like that's quite a normal age gap. But yeah, I was thinking, gosh, like, did we leave it too long? Like now for me to go back to the beginning to having a newborn, is it going to be even harder? But I feel like I'm finally past all those all those feelings. I'm feeling good about it. But yeah, I just wanted to get all of that off my chest because it's been a hard few weeks mentally, and I feel like I should have made a completely separate video on this because I could talk about this for hours. But yeah, I'm glad we've just got a week now until our 12-week scan, so then be able to see baby. And yeah, I'll put that all in a separate video so that this isn't too long, because I can see I've been chatting for ages. And before I go, I'll show you my 11-week belly. I feel like I've grown a lot, and I'm actually wearing maternity jeans today. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll show you my bump.